Tip 4. Lens and technique, mastering camera stability for sharp images. Your lens is probably more important than your camera body when it comes to sharpness, unless you got in-body image stabilization in the body, of course. So let's talk about lenses. First thing, prime lenses, as in not zoom lenses. So prime lenses, they've got a fixed focal length, and they are generally optically sharper than zoom lenses because they're designed for a single optimal performance point. And then you've got zoom lenses, and the higher the quality of the zoom lens, the better the quality, and the less you can tell the difference from prime lenses. And more expensive lenses with a constant maximum aperture, they can give you higher quality across the zoom range, but with cheaper lenses, you might lose quality at one end or the other or the middle. Again, you need to know how your lens performs, where it's best, because, like I say, some lenses, you go to the longest focal length and they're really soft, and you don't want that, do you? No, you don't. But in general terms with lenses, the more money you get, the better the quality of the images you'll capture. In general terms, obviously there's 1,000,001 variables in this. And the difference in quality between zoom lenses and prime lenses is probably closer than it ever has. In fact, it's definitely closer than it ever has been with the advances in optical technology. See, I use a Canon 17 to 40mm lens, and I take 95% of my photos at 17mm. So could I survive with a 17mm prime lens? I'd probably be fine with it. And if I got the 17mm tilt shift lens, even better, but it's manual focus, and that's another problem. But I'm now going off script and digressing, aren't I? So I need to get back onto it. Cheap filters. Now, people use UV filters, protector filters, and what have you to protect the front lens element. If you get a cheap one, it's going to degrade the image quality. It's going to degrade the sharpness. You're not going to get a sharper photo. You might get reflections, glare, or other errors. So get the best optical glass filters that you can afford and look after them. Look after them and they will serve you for many years. Lens hoods. Use a lens hood to block stray light from entering the lens. This prevents lens flare, which it washes out contrast, and it can make images appear less sharp even if you're perfectly focused. And a lens hood protects your front lens from any kind of damage because it's sticking out in front of your lens, and I always take photos with the lens hood on. Lens cleanliness. Dust, smudges, fingerprints, anything on your front or rear lens element, let's not forget the rear lens element, they can dramatically reduce sharpness. So keep your front and rear lens elements clean using a proper lens cleaning solution and a proper cloth. I use disposable cloths. I'm not saying you have to. There are lens cleaning cloths out there, but I use disposable cloths. I'm paranoid about scratching my front and rear lens elements, and I feel it's worth the investment. And they don't cost a fortune, and a pack of 100 lasts me quite a long time. Side issue there, I don't change my lens that often, so I don't need to worry about the rear lens element, because once I've cleaned it and it's on my camera body, it's not exposed to anything, so I don't need to clean it again until I don't know, take it off in a dusty environment, which I don't do, so that helps. I'm not saying never change lens, of course. Move on, Rick, move on. Focusing accuracy. Yeah, autofocus modes. Again, we're going back to understanding your camera and the different autofocus modes, such as single shot AF for static subjects and continuous AF for moving subjects. This will help you get sharper focus for the images that you're taking. So it's just not one setting that you use forever and a day. Okay, focus points and recomposing. Now, don't just rely on the central focus point. Actively select the specific focus points that relate to your composition, the thing that you want in focus more. And that could be someone's eyes or a feature in a building. And this is what I do. My Canon 6D, it's got 11 focus points. One of the new Canons has got nearly 5,000 focus points. My Canon 6D's got 11, and I choose the focus point manually before I take a photo. And no, it doesn't take forever. And I also use back button focus for even greater control. Yes, you've guessed it, I'm obsessed about getting the sharpest photos that I can every time I take a photo, and I'm not going to apologise for that. Right, another one which came up in the research was manual focus. Now, for very precise work, particularly in low light or with challenging subjects like architectural details, manual focus using focus peaking or magnification in your viewfinder can be more accurate than autofocus. In theory, I don't do this, but then again, I'm quite old. My eyes are quite old. Well, my eyes will be quite old because I'm quite old, aren't I? And my camera's quite old too, but not as old as me. My camera's autofocus works better, without exception, than manual focus using my eyes. But if your eyes are good, you might want to try it. I don't. I haven't manually focused since about 1975 probably. Showing my age there. Camera stability and vibrations. Now, proper hand holding the camera. This is so important. You need to hold your camera in a certain way, as in left hand cradling the body, right hand on the grip, elbows in, camera up to your eye. Yes, I'm actually doing this whilst I'm talking to you. Breathe in, breathe out slowly, press the shutter button. Brace yourself against something that's not moving if you want extra stability. But do these things and you'll get sharper photos. It gives you a bit more latitude when you're using slower shutter speeds as well. But I do this all the time, even with a fast shutter speed. Not that I'm ever taking photographs handheld. And then there's mirror lockup, which on a DSLR you can activate mirror lockup, and that minimises vibrations because you flip the mirror up first and then you take the photo. The two operations, I believe, are separate. I'd forgotten about this completely. Maybe I need to revisit that, yeah. See, I was researching this and I came across this and I went, I probably should have been doing this for donkey's years. I'd forgotten. I'll look into that one. But if you've got a mirrorless camera, it's not a problem, is it? Well, of course it isn't. You haven't got a mirror. What do you think the name mirrorless camera stands for anyway? To summarise, investing in quality lenses and mastering proper shooting techniques, they will help you to get the sharpest photos you can every time.